Welcome back to another edition of Prodigy Talks. I'm Rob Lawrence and I'm talking to my Aussie mate, Justin Back, President of Acadian. We're here at the American Ambulance Association 2025 Conference and Trade Show. Justin and I have just delivered a session which was our third annual session here with the AAA. What do we talk about, mate?
We spoke a lot about frontline leadership today. Again, we spoke about technical and human-based sort of rigors and challenges of the industry that aren't going anywhere. What I enjoy about our series of talks is that we're not preaching or teaching the congregation. It's very much we're facilitating a discussion. You know, the audience is contributing more than we are. The problems are out there, the solutions are out there as well. And so hopefully people got a chance to cross-level some good practices. I certainly walked away with 5 pretty tangible points that we want to look at implementing. And again, being at the AAA is great. You know, it's good. It's comforting to know that you're not the only company with problems. But you know, again, there's good technology coming out. There's better use of data than there ever has been before. You start to sort of learn what you don't know. And again, great being back together with you, mate. I always enjoy it.
Thank you. You said that just the way I wrote it down for you. That's fantastic. So, but one of the things that you wanted to talk about particularly was what's the next recruit going to look like? Yeah.
So I think what we discussed in the room today was that if there had ever been stigma in the past about stiff-arming people at the door who weren't committing to a lifelong sort of journey with the industry or the company, that has to be a thing of the past. If we're going to be part of someone's journey, and I think the point was made today by Steve Grau that it's not a stepping stone, it's a building block. If we're going to be part of the building process, good, and hopefully those people go on to lead very constructive careers, but also as advocates for the pre-hospital space that we operate in, then that's very good. I think the second thing is that we need to look at the recurring industries that do feed us recruits, and there are specific industries, and they probably vary across the country, but there are definitely industries that you can point to as being target-rich environments for us to bring talent over. And the third thing that we didn't really discuss, but we should have, is bilinguality. I think that the demands on what we do are really only going up, the complexity is going up. And the reality of, especially where we are on the Gulf Coast, people who are bilingual, they're becoming gold. And so the need to attract people who have that skill and or develop it within the task force is going to be bigger, not smaller into the future.
So one of the other things, and one of the other areas that you're passionate about is safety, both provider safety and system safety. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so we have much better safety stats now than we have had in recorded history. One of those is having a bigger task force. We have a larger task force than we've had before. We also have a high percentage of lower tenured people in the task force because we're recruiting so aggressively. And where that would normally point to us having worse safety stats, the opposite has been true. Technology has played a space in there. We use the Samsara cameras, which we've been very happy with. Also automatic braking coming into the units, but also a very big campaign aimed at fatigue management, doing a deep study on what preventable incidents were happening, of what nature, where, and we learned that when it came to fatigue-related incidents, for example, they weren't during the night time, they were during the day. They weren't late on shift, they were early shift. They were happening about 10 o'clock in the morning. It wasn't people who'd been back-to-back shifts at all, they were quite fresh. It wasn't people on long-distance transports, it was on metros. And so a lot of this sort of pointed to shift readiness. And so throwing a lot of awareness and expectation and team accountability at shift readiness and turning up ready to go has had a big impact. Also having a centralised safety review committee. We have a team of experts who review every preventable vehicle incident centrally. And the team member or members involved will sort of come there with their local leadership, and we have a just culture approach to it. But doing this more consistently, has helped us to disseminate lessons learned more effectively, and it's been a fairer, more just process. All those things put together, a hard line on accountability. I think a lot of us had to bend and not break on certain things during the pandemic. The pandemic's behind us. We have to be doing a better job of accountability, and we unapologetically are. But that's also, I think, helping us to retain the better people who are there for the right reasons and doing the right job, which is 99% of the people. You put all that together and safety's in better hands. But the great thing, again, about being here is we know what we know. So we're doing what we're doing and we're getting what we're getting, and what is everyone else doing? And so that was an interesting discussion.
So one of the things you said to me earlier on, and Justin, President of Acadian Ambulance, people don't work for you, they work with you. So talk about teamwork and teams.
Yeah, and I really think that's that's something we live and breathe. We have a fairly aggressive downrange, frontline offensive mentality in leadership at Acadian, where every member of the leadership is expected to be in the field as a minimum once every 2 weeks. I like to think that we're never more than 10 days out from our last ambulance transport, because the issues exist on the front line, the solutions are there as well. And we're fond of saying people work for a paycheck. They don't work for me. If they want to work with me, ours is a sacred mission. It's a noble calling. What we do is consequential, and it matters that we're good at our jobs. And finding people with the heart, the guts and the brains to do that is tough enough. At the very least, we can approach that with an attitude, whereas leadership, we serve them. It's an upside down pyramid. The front line are at the top line all the way down to me, and it's like the NFL. They'll get rid of the coach before they get rid of the players. And so we encourage our team to be quite vocal on their expectations of leadership. But again, the leadership should be there to protect them, to resource them, to support them, to retain them. The talent war is very, very real, and we are selecting, recruiting, attracting people into frontline leadership roles, often with more will than skill. You can train the skill part up, but if people have a burning desire to be on the front line, share the elements, communicate, protect, and work with, and make people's future big in their past, then that's the leadership core that we're trying to develop and recruit. So
wonderful. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is an absolute servant leader. Justin, thank you very much indeed. Hopefully we'll get invited back next year.
I've been learning from you all this time, Robert. Yeah, an honour to be here. Absolutely wonderful. Thanks to the 3-part series. And if we're called upon to do a 4th, then we'll do that too. So.
Okay, you heard it here, AAA. We're ready to come back again. But for the moment, thank you, sir. And back to you.